Because if you don't love yourself, you won't believe that someone else will. And if you don't trust yourself and accept yourself for who you are, there is a big chance that you will either sabotage the relationship because you don't feel worthy of it.
You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hey guys, welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. On this week's episode, I have my client, Ori, and she is from Switzerland. She currently lives in Australia with her partner, and she just has an amazing story of how she became a coach. Ori is a six-figure coach, and she's a self-love and relationship coach, and she is just so amazing. Her story is amazing, and I'm so excited for you guys to listen in. Ori is a 6-month coaching client of mine. She came to me in March of 2022, and then she re-signed back in October for another 6 months. So I love when a client works with me long term because we just get to go so much deeper and we really get to create amazing results because the relationship is so deep. I know exactly what she's thinking when I just see the look on her face sometimes, and it's a really special relationship. And that leads me to invite you to book a sales call for 6 months of private coaching. And this container is going to help you believe in yourself as a successful coach. It's going to help you believe in the services that you can provide and the results that you can provide for your clients. And it's going to help you believe in the impact that you can make in this industry. Okay, so we use my self-worth as a sales skill process in 6 months of private coaching so you can double your confidence and double your clients. So go and book a sales call at the link in my show notes, and I hope that you enjoy this episode with my client, Ori. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. We are here with Ori. Hi, Ori. How are you today?
Hi, Jill. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for being here. And I first just wanted to kind of start off with you introducing yourself and tell us the story behind you becoming a self-love and relationship coach.
Oh, okay. So my name is Ori, and I am from Switzerland and I live in Australia. And my story behind becoming a self-love and relationship coach is like in 2018, I was probably at my lowest. So I was in a really toxic, violent, whatever you name it, relationship with someone that was probably a narcissist. I don't know. I don't want to put that word. I feel like that word is like used a lot, but anyways, it was a really, really hard time, and my self-esteem and my self-love was like gone, totally gone. And I was struggling with body image because this guy was a personal trainer and I had to look really good, really fit. I had to train a lot. I had to eat a really strict diet. So yeah, it was really difficult. So when I finally got the courage to get out of this relationship, I started what I thought was going to be just like a travel. So I actually quit my job. I gave up my apartment and I just like packed all my stuff in 2 boxes that I left at my dad's. I broke up with him and I just went on a solo travel around the world. And I thought I was just going to be enjoying traveling, but I I had like a journey outside and a journey inside of myself as well, where I was kind of forced to work on myself and love myself again. And it was a long journey, and accepting myself for who I was, for my body, was like one of the biggest issue at that time. And yeah, so like for a year I was enjoying myself traveling, but I was also struggling to get back to who I was before, the person who was like joyful. I'm like someone who's like positive and stuff like that, and I was not at that time. So yeah, I worked on myself a lot to just get back to who I was. And I feel like my journey was like, my travel was like in two parts. And the first part, I was in Asia, and that was like the hardest. That was really difficult. And then I went to Central America, and then I started to feel that it was starting to work, and I was feeling better about myself. I was feeling more and more confident. I saw it especially with my relationship with guys, because at first I was afraid to approach them. And then when I was out there in Central America, I was like, oh, whatever, I will just try. And I was actually, I had like success, we'll say that like this, with guys. And it just like made me more and more and more confident. And yeah, at the end of this year, so like I left home in January 2019, and in December 2019 I met my current partner, Lawrence. And I think the relationship that I have with him is a result of healing my relationship with myself. So the self-love coach part is like my journey on my own, and I decided to add helping people with their relationship, because this is something I was able to do and create a really healthy, strong, and passionate relationship with my partner as a result of like healing myself.
Wow, that is so good. I don't think I've heard like your whole story before, so that was amazing. And I especially like that you don't say like, "Oh, you just need to like find the right person." Like you talk about like being the right person, you
Yes.
know? So I love that because you found the strength inside of you to leave a really terrible relationship and then like go on this search for yourself. It's kind of like that movie or that book. What's it called?
Oh, I
Eat,
don't.
Pray,
Eat,
Love.
pray, love.
Eat, Pray,
Yeah.
Love. It's kind of like that, where
It
like,
is.
okay, personally, I haven't read that book or seen the movie, but I have heard about it. And it kind of has me thinking about how like you really had to like dig down and look for the strength inside of you in order to leave that relationship. And then instead of just like going off and just trying to find the perfect person, you became the person who's in that really healthy relationship, right?
Yeah, because I noticed that like at the beginning of my travel, I was meeting guys, and I could see that there was a pattern of me getting attached too quickly, me being like very needy.
Mm.
And this is not something I wanted. It didn't feel good. And this is not I always had this like idea of the perfect relationship that I wanted. And this was not it. And so I knew that was not their fault. And I had something that I had to change within myself to be able to get to that level of relationship that I wanted.
Oh, that's so good. So, why do you think, like, coming off of that, why do you think self-love is so important for a healthy relationship? Like, how does, like, being really confident in yourself create that healthy relationship?
Mm, because if you don't love yourself, you won't believe that someone else will. And if you don't trust yourself and accept yourself for who you are, there is a big chance that you will either sabotage the relationship because you don't feel worthy of it, or you will get jealous because you don't see your potential, but you see the potential in others. So you're like, oh, this girl is probably better than me for my partner. She's like more beautiful. She has this and that, and you don't see it in yourself. And there is also this thing that you project your fears on the relationship constantly. So like it creates tensions and yeah, jealousy and arguments for things that can be avoided if you love yourself and trust yourself.
Oh my God, yes. Like, I even think about how you said if you don't feel worthy of a healthy relationship, like you'll self-sabotage. And like, I see that the
Mm-hmm.
same too with like money and business. And like, if you don't think you're actually worthy of having the success that you want, you'll self-sabotage it so you don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like I've been in a super super long-term relationship and we're engaged now. And I also know that like when I was younger, I would be so insecure and I would be really jealous and I would be really anxiously attached. And then when I actually came into the coaching space and I learned all about like mindset and how I'm responsible for everything, it actually really did change our relationship. And that's something that I think people don't realize, that even if you come into the space and you get coached, even if it's not specifically around like self love and relationships, you start to realize how changing your beliefs about yourself just has a huge ripple effect for like everything around you, including your relationships.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like for me, self-love and self-acceptance and self-trust is the base of everything. And if you don't
Mm,
have this, it can be difficult in a lot of areas in your life. And when you start working on this, you start seeing a change in like all these different areas of your life, definitely.
yeah, for sure. So, how do you think then that self love and a healthy relationship are currently impacting you with your own coaching business then?
So it provides me with the support that I need. So like being your own boss, as you know, isn't always easy, but
Mhm.
my self-love journey is helping me with being more gentle to myself and also really detaching my worth from my results. And this is something I think I really um, understood since we've been working together.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like being more gentle with me when something is not going the way I want.
Mhm.
And my relationship with my partner is also like a really huge support. So I can talk about what's going on. I can ask for advice, or I can just like, I don't know, just like rant about something that went wrong and I just need to get it off my chest. And I know I won't be judged, and I know it's a safe space for me to just be myself. And yeah, since day one, because I met my partner and then I started my business a little bit later. So he's been there the whole time, and like not once he doubted myself, or even if he at some point maybe, I don't know, thought that was not a good idea or whatever, he never said anything. He never projected his fears on me, and I've always been able to talk about whatever I needed to talk. And he's been actually a really good coach. He's
Oh
like, yeah.
my God, that is really sweet. That is really nice. And like, I don't want anybody to feel bad if they don't have that same experience, but also showing that you can set boundaries with your partner as well when it comes to your business. So, um, even if you have somebody who isn't like super supportive, it's usually from fear, right? It's usually from fear and their own insufficiency. And sometimes they just really
don't want to see you suffer. They just want to like keep you safe. So if you kind of feel like, oh, I don't really have that when it comes to your coaching business and your relationship, that's okay. And I think it can take some people time to really see like the benefits of having a coaching business and everywhere you can take it. Like, for example, when I first started, like I was communicative about the things that I was doing, but not overly to where he had like a huge opinion and all the stuff that I was doing, because I knew that I was personally very sensitive to people's thoughts and opinions. So it's really great if you do have somebody who is supportive and there for you and just loves all the things you're doing. But even if you don't have somebody who is super duper like that, it doesn't mean that they can't turn into that. It just means that you need to have your own back and really support yourself through your own time growing your business.
Yeah, definitely. But I think for myself, there was also a lot of communication because, like, at the very start, I was also not really so open about what I was doing, especially with like investing my money in my business. And then I started to communicate a little bit and a little bit, and I felt like I was more and more comfortable because his reaction was good. But if I feel like, I mean, it's not always perfect. And if sometimes if I can feel that he's not going to tell me straight away if he has a thought or like a fear, but I can tell on his face.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I'm going to dig into that and like, okay, what are your thoughts? What do you think? And then he's going to explain what he feels and what are his thoughts without making me feel bad about what I'm doing. And I can still see what he means and maybe see things differently. And sometimes it can help me make a better decision or something like that.
So beautiful. And like, I just think that you are such the epitome of a self-love and relationship coach. You really like actually truly show up in that exact way. So can I ask you, how did you experience imposter syndrome for yourself as a coach?
So I think the biggest thing was that I wasn't able to see my success and to attribute it to me. So like I thought it was maybe like a fluke or just I had a like
Classic.
it was I had luck and or like the right people were talking about me and my business, and that won't last. Yeah, because I know that when I started working with you the year before that, I had a really good year when I look back at it. And I know I had success. I know I worked with a lot of clients, but it didn't feel like it was really me or I had a hard time being like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, totally. And how has that changed since we have started working together? And what have you loved about working together and achieved over the past 6 or 7 months that we've been working together for?
Yeah. So, okay, there is a lot of question here, which what
Yeah, so what do you think has changed since you and I have started working together?
Yeah. So like when I like the reason why I went to you in the first place was because I felt low motivation towards my business. I had no energy, I was drained, and I kind of feel like I was just out of like a burnout, and I had a hard time. I worked on that and I had a hard time coming back. So I didn't enjoy what I was doing anymore. And so working together helped me see my success for what it is and claim it first and foremost.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that it made me feel more confident about what I'm offering. We looked at my offers and changed my group program, for example, to something that I love even more and makes more sense and like easier to run. We simplified the way I do sales calls, which is so much more enjoyable. Like now I'm like super motivated to jump on a sales calls or jump on stories or create content and stuff like that. I'm like excited about my business, and I'm actually really proud now when I look back, and I'm proud of where I am and what I created in only 2 and a bit years. Yeah.
Okay.
And I love how challenging our calls are for me. I know it doesn't always
I knew
feel
you
like
would say something about this. You're like, Jill purposely makes me feel so uncomfortable.
yeah, I guess it makes me learn to be comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
Which is
And
all what it is, owning a fucking coaching business, is being very uncomfortable.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so like you help me, like I love how you are calling me out and help me verbalizing certain things, because I am someone who needs that. Like I'm not someone who is like overly sharing and just like I come on a call and I just like drop everything. I'm just like I need
Totally.
someone to be like, oh, like see through me. And
Yeah.
like you've been really able to do that. I love like how supportive you are and really quick to respond. And like especially that we're in totally different time zones. It's been
Is
really
that an issue? Should I be worried that I do that? I mean, I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
know.
It's fine.
Yeah, I guess you have your boundaries and
Yeah.
it's fine. But yeah. And yeah, so like one thing, like I think one of the first things that we've worked on and that been really a game changer for me is really learning to accept my emotions, especially the uncomfortable ones, and just accept it and go through it, work through it. So that's been a journey. Like this is not something I was used to, especially coming from a toxic relationship. That was something I was used to just like stuff down. And yeah, that's been a lot, but it's been really good. And in terms of what I've achieved in the last 6 months, so I was booked out in July, which was my biggest month ever in my business at I think it was $15,000.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. And I was able to take the whole month of August off, so like the following month, to visit my family in Europe, which I haven't been able to do in 2.5 years. I've also had client resigning after asking them if they wanted to continue working with me, which is something that I was afraid to do before because I was afraid of being rejected. And I still have some people that said no, but I don't take it personally. Like I know it's not because of me. It's not because of something I did or anything. It's just always something else. There's always another reason. Yeah, I feel like I've been more consistent with posting, with creating content. I started a podcast.
You did
Um,
start your podcast and it's so good.
yeah, I sometimes I have it's like hard for me to be like, oh, what did I achieve? So I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I absolutely love working with you. And you guys, she re-signed for another 6 months. So we are together for it's going to be an entire year, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So good. All right, Ori, thank you so much for coming on. Can you tell us where on Instagram we can find you, what your podcast is called? And then can you also tell us what your current offer is?
Yeah, sure. So my Instagram is Oriane underscore DX. So it's ORIANE_DX. My podcast is called Sunrise Date. And at the moment, my offer is my one-to-one container for 3 months. So I worked with women who want to, so either coming out of a breakup and going through the breakup, and so I'm helping them go through that, reframe their thoughts and change their beliefs about love and relationships so that they can get fresh into a new and healthy relationship. And I also work with women who are either usually already in a relationship, but they want to work on themselves, their self-love, their self-trust, their self-confidence, and as a result, just see their relationship get better, their financial situation get better, their career as well, and all other aspects of their lives. So yeah.
Amazing. You guys need to work with her. She's amazing. Ori, I love you. Thank you for being on here. And I will see you on our call next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to find out how you can take this work deeper with me in one-to-one coaching or in the From Imposter to Empowered group program. In the show notes, you'll also find a free 3-day challenge to start the process of overcoming your inner imposter. And once you're done with all of that, screenshot this episode and share it on Instagram, tagging me at your coach Jill so we can connect. See you next time.